Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 46 for the Focus on Gaming podcast. I'm Martin, I'm back. Good to be back. How are you both?
Good. All good. Yes, we had our longest episode ever last week.
We did. Almost 2 hours, wasn't it?
Well, it was about moaning, and we're both middle-aged men, so
we're exactly middle-aged now.
There you go. So it was a nice episode.
Happy birthday to you both as well, since we last.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, a year older. I'm now 46, and for one day, Tom was the same age as me.
Yeah, and now I'm younger.
Nice, young and svelte.
Yeah.
I'm old, and I'm drinking some of my presents, but I won't go into that.
Any gaming-related presents this year for you?
No, we both got barbecue presents. I think showing the age. I went on a barbecuing class, and now Tom's getting a barbecue. So, I think showed our age in a way.
You're not going to get really gaming-related presents anymore.
Although Microsoft gave me a gaming present because on my birthday, Humanity came to Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So I've mentioned that game before on the podcast, and I love it. It's so good, and I've never played it on a big screen before, and it's so much easier because you can see what you're doing. Yeah, compared to playing it on the Steam Deck, I was like, eh.
Is that one of the games you've been playing then?
That is a game I've been playing. Really good. It's Lemmings for the modern era.
It is really good fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So if people haven't played, you have a block route place, and you have blocks and an entrance where just a constant stream of humans, except for when they're limited. Most of them. Constant stream of humans walking out of it, and you have to put your little white dog, and you have to put directions for the humans to follow, and whether that's jumping, having lasers to shoot bad people, jumping high, jumping long, floating, and then there's water, and you have to get them to the exit. And a lot of the levels are quite easy to get to the end, but then there's gold humans, or they're called goldies, they're just gold characters that if you collect them and walk them to the end, you get extra powers and whatnot. It gets hard. Some of the levels are quite tricky, and then there's user created, so there are literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands of user created levels, and it's great fun. Highly recommend it if you got PlayStation, PC, or Xbox. Good game. Yeah.
Or a Samsung TV, which I have. So as long as you got Game Pass.
Indeed, yes. It was although it's a year old, it was PS exclusive for a year. Yeah. So, it was technically day one Xbox Game Pass, but it's a year-old game. And I'm still working my way through Senua's Saga 2, which is
I didn't even
still beautiful.
Yeah, I knew that because I knew it was coming out. I didn't know it had come out. So, but I did play the first one. So, to give that one a go.
Oh, it was. I think I heard it mentioned on a podcast before.
Yeah. I think I've also heard myself mention it on a podcast. Not to mention a rival podcast.
It's a great game. It is. I've heard a lot of people on the Gaming Dads group saying, kind of thing, or it's when's it going to get going and all this kind of thing, and it isn't. If you're after the next God of War, you're going to be disappointed. You'll think it looks beautiful, but you'll be disappointed. It is more, I suppose you could say it's more like your Dear Esther or Everyone's Gone to the Rapture kind of game with a bit of fighting and a bit of puzzling. And apparently near to the end, I've heard that there are big things to fight. How that works, I don't know. But apparently those pieces are very cinematic and look the best. And I haven't got to them yet, so I can't comment.
Ooh. Keep us informed.
Yeah. So have you two been playing anything Martin, the last couple of weeks, and Tom last week?
Martin, you first.
Wow. Yeah, we'll go through me because it shouldn't take very long because I haven't been playing anything new since we last spoken. So I've been still just on the Tears of the Kingdom, the Zelda game. So
Nice.
Yeah, still really enjoying it.
It's addictive, isn't it?
Yeah, and also I've been like dabbling with Rocket League again. I've got a heroin addict to like relapse, but
just one more game, please. One more.
One more hour. One more. And
Great contraception, that game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, at times that I go up and then she's asleep, or she's like, "No, you've spent the whole evening playing that game." But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom mainly, though, rather than Rocket League. But I got to admit, I can't just.
Have you started building anything in Tears of the Kingdom?
Nothing. I know like people can make bikes and I think there's like YouTube videos in terms of
there's all sorts of
planes
crazy
and stuff.
things,
I've seen loads of stuff on. Haven't really gone that extravagant myself. Yeah, should probably have a look into it, shouldn't I? And see.
That could be your challenge to build a
maybe next
vehicle.
week or I'll have a look and see what I can do. I'll go on YouTube and
present your designs on the next podcast.
Do like a show and tell.
Brilliant, excellent. Oh, well, I'll look forward to that. Tom, what have you been playing?
I've been playing just a couple of games. Red Dead Redemption 3.
3?
All the newest one, whatever it's on the PlayStation 2, 3. I don't know. Whatever one's on the PlayStation 5 right now on games on
2.
Plus 2 then. And do you know, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it.
It
Didn't think I was going to get into it because those sort of cinematic type games bore me to tears, but really enjoying it. Plan to spend a lot of time on it over the next couple of weeks. So.
Did you play the original?
No.
So you're new to this. It's slightly different to the original. That they almost make it difficult to reload and to shoot and whatnot. But yeah, the first one was such a good game. It was such a good story. They had a lot to live up to, and the graphics of it.
Oh,
it's still absolutely brilliant. Even though it's still not that old. I think was it 2018. I want to say.
Don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not playing it because it's come on the PlayStation Plus thing for download for nothing. So I'm
it is a good game. The online wasn't particularly great. I think they were hoping that it would be as popular as GTA Online, but basically it was just griefers and trolls that would just hang around in places, and you'd respawn and they'd shoot you, and you'd just be in a loop of being shot.
The only criticism I have of it is it's very difficult to evade people when you're having a gunfight, and then you're trying to hide behind things or move around things or come down from a different angle, and the AI on it is pretty good. I mean, they're on you within seconds.
I saw a hilarious video today. Somebody was on Game Dad's actually. Somebody had said, "I can't believe what happened. I accidentally, did this. The auto aiming. They were having a fist fight, and just their character just literally stops this in the fist fight and stomps on a cat, and you just hear this crunch and it's like, oh god! Look at the man's just like, oh god, I don't know what to do because I feel really guilty now. I've killed 500 people, But that one cat that I accidentally stomped on for no reason whatsoever
impacted him forever. So. But there is one other game I've been playing, and it's been in the works for quite a while. It's a ROM hack of the original Super Mario Kart. So it's called Super Mario Kart Horizons, and it essentially reinvents Super Mario Kart. So it's new tracks, new backgrounds, new graphics, things like that, new weapons, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's been making the most of my iPad for a bit of emulation. And I popped that on there a couple of days ago, and it's absolutely fantastic. It really does make the original Super Mario Kart something new and a lot harder to play. So, if you're into a bit of emulation, go check it out.
You have complained about Mario Kart's not being difficult enough, so there you go, Tom.
But there is it. So it's on a website.
Can you play against other people online?
You probably can. I've not explored it. I think, there probably is a way, but I'm not going to. But yeah, really, really good. You can get it on the website called romhacks.org, and it is a fan-made thing. So go check it out. There's quite a few different things on there actually, different games, variations and things. So there's also I've not played it yet, but I kind of don't know how to, because it's not a ROM. But there's something called F-Zero Final, which is all the F-Zero games put into one game. And I think it looks a bit like the old F-Zero Climax or whatever it was called, like the old game. I know the old SNES and Game Boy Advance games, and they put all the cards are on there from all the different games. All the tracks are on there, including some of the Satellaview downloadable tracks that were released in Japan. Those
are the ones that were broadcast, didn't they? You had like a receiver and you had to download it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to that's what when they announced the Super Nintendo CD or hinted at it, most of the designs that were in the magazines were basically the Satellaview with a CD-ROM drive on it, because that's all that everyone had to go off because of this expansion slot at the bottom. So and it never looked anything like it at all when someone a few years back finally showed what a working model was going to be. So, which was called the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yes. Well, that was there's a whole TV series about the whole Nintendo and Sony hookup, and then
Philips and all that.
Yeah, I mean Nintendo really, really did screw Sony over on that.
Well, first of all, Philips and they went out of business essentially because of that.
But then again, we've ended up with Sony and Nintendo still doing all right. I think they're doing all right.
Apparently the PlayStation 5 era of gaming is their most profitable ever. So
I'm just looking at the Nintendo Satellaview. Oh, it's nice looking, but blimey.
I did have one. Couldn't use it obviously because the service was dead, but it was quite nice having it on the bottom of the SNES. As a little kind of what's that when everyone walks in and sees it. But it's something different, isn't it?
Well,
I do remember a game I did play actually, because it's been such a long time since I've done the podcast. I only played it once though, because I was around my friend's house. We played Wipeout Amiga Collection, because it's 2-player. So
Wipeout Amiga.
Omega collection.
Oh, Amiga.
Oh, right.
I was like, hang on.
Omega collection. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Yeah, it's very good, isn't it?
Yeah, I was around there because we were watching the boxing of Tyson Fury versus Usyk. Not to bring that up because we're not a sports podcast, but that's why I was around there.
No, I watched that.
A bit of I wasn't going to pay £25, so we we met up and we did halves each. But we missed quite a few. No, we did. I can't be one of those people who, because I can't deal with like the buffering or whatever, or if you get bad one and you're there. Like I've had a few times where I've tried that and it's never ever worked out. I remember one time we were around a laptop and it was just constantly buffering. We were trying to find different. But yeah, if I really want to watch something, I'll just pay for it now. But we missed quite a few of the fights because we couldn't get off Wipeout. But yeah,
graphically, it's amazing.
So what is it? Is it collection of?
Yeah, so it's compilation. I can't speak of it. Remasters of 2 entries in this Wipeout HD, along with Wipeout HD Fury and Wipeout 2048.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
so good.
The newer Wipeouts. It's not like the older one, but yeah, it is. We'll see. What I didn't know though, because I hadn't played it for ages, but we were just constantly blowing up initially because we were like going out and because you can get weapons, but you can, instead of using the weapons, you can repair your.
Yeah, you have to go like there's like a section just at the beginning of each level, isn't there, where you have to go over it. What do you call it? Pits. There's like a pits, isn't there?
It's just it's just where you can get when you get weapons, you can, instead of using your weapons, you can repair your vehicle.
Oh, okay.
We didn't know that, so we were just using our weapons, even though it was like critical. You were having the critical message come up.
Oh, there is also the pits, though, isn't there? I'm sure.
Unless
2048.
Unless we played off a different Wipeout. But yeah, so we kept blowing up until we found that out, and then after that we were doing pretty good actually. I would either win or blow up. That was my.
You would go for it.
Yeah, so I think we played probably about 10 races. I think I won about 5 and blew up the other 5. So all or nothing.
So speaking of boxing, for a second, Undisputed,
yes, you were looking
the
forward
boxing
to that.
game, was on Steam initially. Is now coming to Xbox and PlayStation. It comes
excellent.
out September the 8th, I think it is. Let's have a look. No, October the 8th of this year, and they're doing an Undisputed WBC edition, which is £65, or there is a slightly lesser version, should we call it, which is going to be a bit cheaper.
Standard.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's only digital only release. So does slightly annoy me that when they release it digitally, that they still charge in-store prices. I think that's a bit naughty. But the standard edition is £50.
It's a difficult one because there are costs. I mean, when people say there's no costs, it's like there is. But yeah, I still believe it should be cheaper when you buy digital.
£25-30, something like that. I think that's a good look.
Oh, blimey though. Yeah. Well, if a game's £70 physical, they're not going. Yeah. Then I think £60 is probably a good one, especially the fact that it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about scratching your disc or anything like that. If you're just collecting, yeah, maybe. But no, I mean, I'd argue that there are costs, and me personally, I gave up having physical probably 7 or 8 years ago, at least, maybe 10 years ago. I think I own about 3 games on disc for Xbox One.
I always find that digital's more expensive than physical.
It should be
because you've got less places to buy it, haven't you? Whereas if it's when you're buying it hard copy, you can get it in supermarkets or Currys or whatever. So they have a lot of time have deals on or whatever.
Yeah, and I would totally agree as well that with people who say don't pre-order games. And yeah, if you're going to buy digital, don't pre-order. You could literally on the day buy it, and immediately get it. Because if a game turns out to be, if you buy Cyberpunk when it first came out, or I don't know, any game that has got poor reviews when people are looking forward to it, hey, you see the reviews and go, oh, actually, I don't want to get that. Whereas if you buy physical, you pre-order it, you have to cancel it, and if it's already been sent, you have to send it back. Yeah,
but I agree with Tom. I think there should be quite a considerable price difference between digital and
because all the server maintained
associated with digital, other than making the game, which you get with the physical. What are the costs associated with a digital?
You're paying for the server maintenance, basically, which at the end of the day, that's a constant cost to them. It's not a one-off. But yeah, so that's normally whether it's they're having to pay for host, whether it's Microsoft and they've got them hosted all over the world so that you can get faster downloads, or whether it's people host it on their own things on their own servers and it's downloaded that way. There's a cost, and so that's why quite often as well things are taken out of store, so people can't buy it anymore because they could just have slow servers because nobody else is going to buy it, and those that have got it generally have got it. People might download it, but yeah, there's not a physical thing for them to cost.
We're not paying for packaging, the disc, having to.
I completely understand the downside. You've got the fact that they could go, no, we're not hosting this game anymore. You can't buy it, you can't download it, and that is the risk that you take with digital. But with physical, equally, you got a big scratch on it. You can't send it back, unless it's immediately scratched. You can't send one back after a year because you scratched it. They'll go, oh yeah, it's fine, we'll replace it. They'll go, yeah, should have looked after it.
But does it
never? Sorry, I was to say another pro of the physical is when you finish with the game, you can trade it in if you want to.
There is that.
Yeah, just the digital. There's no one's going to buy a digital game.
I think they should. They should allow that.
They should give you that option, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Like maybe like a little pre-owned digital where you can put it on, you make a little percentage, and the person hosting it.
I think if you're buying the physical game, it should automatically come with the digital version. But also,
like the movies kind of thing.
Yeah. But also, it should be a thing where if you're selling a digital game, you shouldn't be able to terminate or make the game unplayable ever. It should always be playable on any system. If you're say if it's a PlayStation game and you're going from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, that game should be available to download onto the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, we've had problems recently. Was it the Crew? Was it the Crew?
Yes, right.
1 and 2 and Motorfest, and they're making it completely unplayable. Although in those games, I remember the first one, you had the entirety of America, like a fictionalized version, but where you could drive for 2 hours, kind of thing. So that is on the disc, and yet you can't play it anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for PC owners, quite often there will be mods, or there'll be some kind of workaround, which means you might be able to play it. But if you bought it on Xbox or PlayStation or wherever, you're screwed. Yeah, and that's just dickish, really, isn't it? There should be an offline, at least backup or ability to just go, right, we want bots. There you go, bots to play this game.
There was quite a heated discussion on someone else's podcast, who I won't name, and they were talking about the Spotify device, and off the back where Spotify have made this physical device for basically dumb in-car systems to play music. And it syncs to the mobile phone and allows you to have a display and everything. So they're shutting that down and they're refunding the money. Off the back of that discussion, they got into games and how the game you just mentioned and many others become completely unplayable. Battle for Middle-earth 2 being one of them. Obviously, it's a massive online player game. Unless you know how to find private servers, it's a dead duck. You can't play it. Which, okay, fair enough. You've still got the local player game, but it's still not right. You know, Splatoon recently just gone offline. Splatoon 1 and 2, they're offline, I think. All the Wii
and
U
2.
games.
Blimey.
Yeah, the Wii U games have all gone off. And I think there's still one player hanging on for dear life in the servers.
Well, I can tell you now, PlayStation Vita, although there's a lot of games that are offline, Tearaway had an online service where you could download origami plans, but that doesn't work. Quite a few games I went on. One I tried, Helldivers, because it's cross-platform as well. Helldivers, loads of online games. Not Helldivers 2, Helldivers 1.
Okay.
Yeah, there was loads of online games, and I could play them as much as I like online with the PlayStation Vita. And there's a few other games which you can play online, but you probably won't find anybody to play online. But if you wanted to, you could have two people with a PlayStation Vita or both play the game.
Oh, we'll have to try sometime, Duncan.
Yeah, we could have a Need for Speed race or something.
Yeah.
So I think Need for Speed was one that somebody said is playable online. This was a Reddit comment, so I was having a little search, and they said I think Need for Speed was one that you can play online. So yeah, we'll have to have a little look at that.
Yeah.
But speaking of games that were removed, I think this is a nice little segue.
Yeah, it is. Well done.
PT.
Yes.
Now, PT was, as was found out by when people eventually completed it, was a demo, advert, promo. It was a promo game for a now infamous cancelled game, Silent Hills, which was a Kojima and Guillermo del Toro game. But that gets us onto our next bits. We're gonna the Silent Hill 2 remake trailer came out, so we got chatting about Silent Hill, and so we're gonna talk about Silent Hill. There you go. What a segue, eh?
I didn't know where you were going with that.
That was amazing.
It was a Silent Hill promo. That's what it was. So
You don't win an award for that.
You
won't win an award.
Are you not going to send that little clip off to the podcast awards, are you?
Yeah. I mean, don't win an award for that. You're not getting an award for anything.
Oh.
We didn't even plan that, did we?
No.
Did that all by yourself.
I almost think that something is ever planned really with this podcast, but
No.
Anyway, so Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Has everyone played the original?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've played a lot. I've played quite a few of the Silent Hill games.
Were you quite young when that came out in 1999, didn't it?
Silent Hill 2?
Silent Hill 1.
Oh, the original. Yeah, I was pretty young when it came out. The original came out on PlayStation. It was sort of
1999.
because it came out close-ish to the Resident Evil games, and that was obviously everyone just seemed to be the in thing at the time. So
Dino Crisis, Resident Evil.
Yeah, I personally
crappy ones.
Out of all of them, the scariest. Sort of
Absolutely. The first one. I mean, my wussiness with horror games is infamous amongst us. But back when I was 21 years old, I loved a good horror, I loved good jump scare, all this kind of thing. And I remember the first game terrifying me. Just that the whole, I mean, we now know it was a graphical limitation that they couldn't show the whole town. But that fog that was constantly around you, just what's in the fog? What's this? Oh, there's noises. Oh, I can see something scuttling around. Oh, and it wasn't jump scares. It was just what is it? What is going on? What is in that fog? What is it? And it was, it was terrified. With very simple graphics as well. I looked at some graphics earlier, and it was, quite jagged. That's, I think, is probably the best description.
Yeah, I remember like playing it and not knowing what you were gonna sort of walk into. I found sort of one of the probably like the most scary, because kind of, you know, if you can see something coming, it makes it less scary. Whereas if you're walking towards something, you're just on edge, aren't you, all the time?
I like the nurses' statues when they're in the room.
I like the mannequin things.
That's it, and you walk through, and then all of a sudden they're moving and stuff. That used to get me.
And they were in the movie as well, weren't they?
We were sick and twisted though, because we would deliberately move the sofa in front of the TV, turn all the lights out, turn the TV up really loud, and play the game. So
I think I played it with friends around, and it was you couldn't so you couldn't show that you were scared, kind of thing. But I wasn't scared, but it was just sort of, it was a precursor to what I'm like now. But it was. I don't think it's too early to spoil the story and whatnot. So, can anybody, if I correct me if I'm wrong, I think the story is basically you're in this weird town called Silent Hill. There's all this weird crap going on. There's a pyramid head and all this kind of thing. But isn't the basic fact that you've killed your wife or something, and you have guilt about killing her, and she's always been dead the whole time?
Like, you find an abandoned child, didn't you?
I can't remember.
I think the child is in the movie.
The flashback also.
See, they've never been simple stories, have they?
I can't remember if it's the sister. There's one with the sister, and there's one with the wife. So
Silent Hill opens with a flashback showing Harry Mason and his wife finding an abandoned child in a casket. Jumps forward to show Harry Mason driving to the town of Silent Hill with his adopted daughter Cheryl for a vacation. He sees a police officer and all this kind of thing.
Don't go there.
Endings. In the bad ending, the deity merges with the lesser and electrocutes Dahlia before attacking Harry. He defeats it, and Cheryl's voice thanks him for freeing her. Overcome by grief, Harry collapses, and the next scene is that of his corpse in his wrecked car, implying that the entire game was a dying dream. Ugh.
Amazing.
Right, so the good ending is the good plus. The good ending, Kaufman, now feeling betrayed by Dahlia, demands that she restore the town to normal and uses Aglaophotis to exorcise the deity out of a lesser. Harry defeats the deity and the lesser gives him an infant, the reincarnation of herself and Cheryl. She helps him escape from her nightmare realm before dying. Kaufman is dragged away by Lisa.
Sounds like my average Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to admit, none of that is ringing any bells.
No. Did you get to the ending? No.
I did. The first one I did complete. I think I may have used a guide for some of it, because it was a bit sort of go get this and pick this up and then go over here, and you got maps and stuff in magazines. That was still in the days of how getting magazines to get
no internet
things.
The good old days.
Well, there was internet. God blimey, we went. Yeah, well, not that old. Well, no,
1999.
Yeah,
well, there was. It wouldn't have been like usable, would it?
It was. Yeah, I mean, game FAQs would have been either not available, but it would be in the something like game FAQs where it's just text. Yeah, so
the early PlayStation magazine, wouldn't it? Probably, or CBG.
Yeah, one of those kind of games. that had would have a section on walkthroughs and this kind of thing. But yeah, that's the first game. So no, it's not sticking. The story's not sticking in my mind. I was probably too terrified to remember it.
The second one was always my favourite.
Yes, you said before that that's
So he
your
gets
favorite game ever.
well, certainly favourite horror game, definitely, unless you count like House of the Dead or something. But essentially, James Sutherland, a man lured to the town, receives a letter from his deceased wife. The game explores James' internal struggles, entangling a player's a web of betrayal, loss, and atonement, and coupled with symbolic monster designs, think Pyramid Head, an elevated game to an art form. It didn't just scare players, it aspired to make them introspect questions and feel its ending depend on the player choices. Remains one of the most discussed and analyzed video games ever, and it also had a secret ending.
Oh, the PlayStation, the original had. I could go back to this thing. There was 5 endings. There was bad plus, good plus, and the joke ending, which I think there's a joke ending in pretty much all of them, isn't there? Like with the dog and stuff. Is that from number 2? I'm just trying to find out quickly. No, can't find out. But yeah, so it was PlayStation 2, wasn't it? It was 2001. So what makes it? What would you say makes it your favorite, at least horror game ever?
I just thought it was. I'm not scared easily by things, but that game put a tingle up your spine on many occasions. I mean, I remember one scene where you slightly open the door, you come up the stairs, you slightly open the door, and Pyramid Head is there.
Oh God!
and then it's so like abrupt, and he's trying to get through the door. So then you run out, and then he's following you, and then all of a sudden it goes quiet, and that was like
with Pyramid Head, he's such an iconic and scary character, and yet, if you actually think about it, he's slow. He never really catches you unless you walk straight into him or you're a bit slow doing something else. And yeah, so he's not actually. It's just the fact that the design of him is scary, so good. And the human looking part of him is very muscly and big. But just that giant sword and is it a sword? Yes, it's a sword, isn't it? And giant Pyramid Head. Yeah. It's just so iconic and so good. And I will get the picture up of him.
Man of mystery. Is it a man? Who knows?
Oh, well, it's some kind of.
Is it a demon? I don't know.
Supernatural being, yes, of some sort. There he is. He's on the video now for anybody watching on YouTube. Oh yeah, Silent Hill Homecoming. That is from though. Don't know what.
Silent Hill Homecoming was dreadful. PlayStation 3 game.
3.
Yeah.
It's PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
Graphically, it was fantastic, but it was just such a shit game.
Well, it's got lots of 6.5, 3 out of 5, 5.5. Although Team Xbox gave it 8.4 out of 10. Do you think they were sponsored by Xbox?
It was more evasion and puzzle solving. But let me tell you now, I've got the game. I've still got the game. I've tried to sell that game to CEX, a couple of game stores to buy something else. No one will take it. That's how bad it is. So there was an arcade of Silent Hill as well. An arcade.
Yes. It was like a House of the Dead kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad actually. It was quite fun. It was around the time when they were doing like Terminator Salvations and the Alien games and things like that. But yeah, it was nice. And then you had Shattered Memories on the Wii, Don't know if you ever played that one, Martin.
No, I played. There was one I played on the Xbox, number 4, The Room.
Okay.
Yes.
Which I think it was in your toilet. I think there was a bit where you could crawl through, and it would take you to. But in your flat, you could just like hang out in your flat. You couldn't really do much in there. You could look out the window and stuff. You could ring like numbers.
So it's literally in a room.
So, well, it's called So you live in a flat, and then there's like a portal in your. I think it's in your toilet, and you go through it, and then you end up in this like nightmare, this other world with zombies or whatever, or demons or whatever they are, in Silent Hill. But you don't have to. Like you obviously you have to if you want to progress through the game to go through that portal. But I just got to the point where I was like, I'll just live in my flat. It's a bit of a boring game. All I can do is look out the window and type some numbers, but at least I don't have to go in that like horrible portal and I have to like be scared for the next sort of hour or so until I come out of it. But yeah, that was. I think that's the last one I played because I don't know.
Well, there hasn't been a mainline game since what was it, Downpour? Was it? Which was 12 years ago on the PS3 and Xbox. So Silent Hill 2 Remake is the first mainline one, and then you've also got I think it's called Silent Hill F coming out, which is the one. Being developed by Neobards Entertainment, published by Konami, and there is also another one called Silent Hill Townfall, which has been a bit quiet for a couple of years. But I think because originally it wasn't going to be by Konami, or published by Konami, but then Konami picked it up because I think Konami basically said, "We want to make loads of Silent Hill games. Come at us, developers." And Supermassive Games, who of course make things like Become Human and those kind of games, they pitched a game which eventually Konami went with this other company. And so if you've played the Dark Anthology games that Supermassive Games have made, Detroit Become Human, that was Quantic Dreams, wasn't it? Things like The Quarry and Until Dawn, Supermassive Games. So the Dark Anthology was originally going to be a Silent Hill games. There you go.
Silent Hill had a HD collection released on the Xbox and on the PlayStation 3, which were really good.
Yeah, that was 2, 3, and 4, wasn't it? But in Japan, I think it was 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I had both versions, but but they're now re-releasing Silent Hill 2 as a 4K upgrade. So that should be interesting.
There was a Silent Hill on PS Vita.
It was.
Yes. That was more of a... I think it was a... Yeah, there's been quite a few sort of mobile ones that have been like point and click kind of adventures, or just there was a visual novel. I think I want to say Game Boy Advance. Yes, plain novel, Silent Hill, a visual novel of the first game, which also includes full motion video. Ooh. So, but you had the Silent Hill collection. There was Silent Hill Mobile, but then in Europe, Silent Hill Mobile was a different game. Was called Silent Hill Orphan elsewhere. But yeah, they were like static pictures, and you could walk through a door, and you get a static picture, and you'd have to pick up stuff, and it wasn't particularly great. Well, they weren't terrible, but they weren't as scary as the 3D mainline ones.
There was a Silent Hill game demo that was released on PlayStation recently, I can't for the life of me remember what the name of the game was.
Oh, that was Short Message. That
That's it.
was the
Really
Short
good.
Message.
Really good.
Yeah, I heard mixed reviews. Obviously, I haven't got PS5, so I haven't been able to play it. But yeah, so yeah, well, tell us about it. What was it?
Well, essentially, it's all about suicide. So, anyone that's going through stuff at the moment, probably switch off the sound for a little while. But essentially, you're going through these block of flats and you keep receiving these text messages from this friend of yours. And it's all a bit dreamy, a little bit weird. And you go through into her flat, and then you go into another flat. There's artwork on the walls. Then you get loads of flashbacks, and then another message will come through, and then you go to a scene where it's where she's died. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because if people haven't played it, I don't want to ruin it. But essentially, something happens at that part, which is quite definitive. And at that stage, it's kind of done. There's a very definitive thing that happens, and then you realise what you've been looking at the whole time. So
Okay.
I wonder what's
Well, see, now I'm intrigued. It's quite it's a short advert. It's a bit sort of like PT was for Silent Hills, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just not as scary. Interestingly, you mentioned PT just quickly. Where I remember, it is rumored that PT is going to be put into Silent Hill 2, the remake, as a hidden thing, like an Easter egg.
Yeah, but there's all sorts of license because the reason why Silent Hills never came out is because Konami and Kojima fell out like massively, and
They're
which
friends
was
again now, though, aren't they?
are they friends again? I know
think
that Kojima's sort of he's just
doing his
making
own
games
stuff,
for he's making games for wherever he wants now. He's just like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, if you give me some money, I'll make a game. But he's within his art.
Death Stranding and was that his last game, Death Stranding, or has he done anything since then?
Well, there's the Death Stranding 2 being announced, I think, and he's also doing one for Xbox. And then is that the
Is
one?
he involved in Silent Hill at all now, or was he?
No. It's all been sent out to other developers, and I think some of the ones that are coming out have got people on it that have history with horror games, to an extent. But yeah, no, Kojima is, and also the thing is, Silent Hills was meant to be Kojima and Guillermo del Toro, who, Pan's Labyrinth has got that Netflix TV show and all sorts of brilliant films and TV.
Troll Hunters.
That would have been so good. Would have been so good.
It would have either been so good or it would have been actually a massive disappointment because that particular level, when you piss about with the camera, she's always behind you.
Oh yeah.
Which is freakier.
PT was just, oh god. I mean, I played it, I think, at a friend's house, and it was just, oh god, yeah, no, and you just walk through a corridor. That's all you do. Oh, and even just, I think it's pretty much the first time you walk through it, there's somebody in the bathroom that just slams the bathroom shut.
Yeah.
So will you be buying Silent Hill 2, the remake, then, Tom, in October?
Depends on the price. If it's like 30 quid, yeah. If they're going to charge full whack for a game that's that old, then no.
Well, I mean, I can see it being, your 50 quid kind of thing, because I mean, full price now we're talking 70 pounds kind of thing, unfortunately. But
yeah, I can't see me paying 70 quid for it. No way. But then again, I never pay 70 quid for anything, so
Personally, I think
I'll wait for it to come down.
Because there are as Duncan said, a lot of games that are potentially in the make. So Silent Hill F, Silent Hill downfall, I think you said.
Mm.
I reckon depending on how successful this is, probably will determine if they do make it. Because if this just comes out and it flops, they'll probably think on Silent Hill's a dead franchise. But if it becomes really like the Resident Evil remasters, which just
if they do a good job of it,
then they might be like, oh, there's still life in the Silent Hill franchise. It's like make some
Hopefully there is
more remasters or make them actual new games. But after Silent Hill 2, I think the standard did drop off a bit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like with Resident Evil, they can do a lot of remasters because they've made a lot of good. Whereas I don't think they've made as many good Silent Hill games. Like I don't think people are going to be crying out for a remaster of The Room, which I played. Which
Downfall reaches really high prices now on the Wii game online. I think it can be in excess of like a couple £100. Really expensive.
That because it's good, or is it because it's rare?
I have a copy, but I'm not selling it.
The biggest one though is if you have a PS4 with PT on it. If you have a PS4 with PT on it, you can get hundreds for that.
Yeah.
But
Funny you say that.
Yeah,
I've got it on mine, but I'm not selling it.
Well, yeah, I mean it's so good, and people are trying to remake it on PC and all this kind of thing. So you can get versions of it on PC, and also if I can see in a few years' time as well, there's going to be good enough graphical ability that people will be able to emulate. So, yeah, if you're going to sell it, if you want to do it now, because
I have the PlayStation 4 Star Wars edition with PT on it. So that's a limited edition. Then you've got that on it, and it's boxed. In years to come, it will be worth it. Not now.
Just Star Wars, PS4, and PT. Let's have a look. See if there's one available. PS4 Star Wars is. Why does that show me the US? I don't want. Oh, it's because it's gone to eBay.com. eBay.co.uk. There you go. I mean, I've been looking at. I was looking for something else recently at 3DS prices. You can actually get them really cheap in this country.
I picked mine up for a £5. Some woman was selling it, and she said, "Oh, the kids don't want it anymore." And I got like 5 games with it: Pilot Wings and Mario and God knows what else. And it was not the XL; it was the smaller version. I paid a £5. That was it.
Cool.
I love it.
Sealed limited run Star Wars Republic Commando. Oh no, that's just a game. Do you know? Oh, there you go. Star Wars Battlefront limited edition.
That's the one.
Yeah. It hasn't got PT on it, but 130 quid. The first one I can find, 140 quid. So yeah, around that much. But I can't see one that's got PT on it. Hang on, PS4 with PT. People aren't saying anything about having PT. Oh, there you go. Sony PlayStation 4 Pro console with PT demo installed. £350. My goodness. PlayStation 4 Jet Black 500GB console only. PT Silent Hill demo. £700.
The problem is when you get it, you have to log into your own account. You'll lose it.
Yeah, that's 700 quid. That's just somebody's put on there in the hope that somebody will buy it. Somebody's got one here. £200. So, yeah.
What I'm gutted about is that when they re-released Simpsons Arcade on the PlayStation, and I never bought it, and apparently it's a really good HD version of it, and I never bought it, and now you can't get it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
So was it the Simpsons arcade game?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you can get it. No. No, I'm just looking on resellers, and you can't get it anywhere. It's quite funny when some games get cancelled, not available. You'll get resellers who will have a key for it, and they will suddenly absolutely skyrocket. I mean, I've seen some keys for rubbish games, and they go for like £200-300 just because you can't get the game anymore. It's like, really? So it's, a lot of these games, although you would love to have the Simpsons arcade game, would you pay £200 for it?
Absolutely not. I could get the arcade for that.
Exactly. Buy an old arcade game instead. Right. Well, there you go. So Simpsons, Silent Hill, Simpsons Hill 2.
Well, maybe that'll be the next Silent Hill.
Maybe that's a game in itself.
Have you actually seen the trailer for Silent Hill 2, the remake?
Looks good.
Yeah, I think it's been the usual sort of moronic response to the fact that the woman in it is no longer this hot piece of ass kind of thing, and is now actually just a normal looking woman.
Dude, I commented on that to you before we went live. So,
well, the thing is, no, trust me, no. Saying that you don't like it is very different to the comments I've seen. Trust me, I've been removing a lot of comments on the Gaming Dads group.
So for context, I said that the HD remix versions on the PS3 and on PlayStation Plus were better graphically than the new version.
Yeah, so well, the thing that there's been a lot of complaints about from, I will reaffirm, not the most nicest of people. It is just basically going, it's all woke mob, and it's like, no, they've just made her more realistic looking, and we can have textures now rather than just perfectly smooth faces.
I think you've got to move with the times as well. I mean, if you want that version, go download it.
Yeah.
You know, go to CEX and buy it.
But the trailer, I liked the look of the trailer. I thought it looked like a Silent Hill game, modern day. And if it's Silent Hill 2 is a well received game, so if they do a good, like you said with Resident Evil, they do a similar sort of good job of it, it'll be very good. So
bringing it out October the 8th is when it's due to be released. They should have delayed it a few weeks and had it come out on Halloween.
Indeed.
Maybe Halloween isn't a thing in Japan or.
No. Anyway, so on this day, what's been happening on this day many, many years ago when I was probably still old enough to play it? So today is June the 2nd for when we're recording this, but nothing much on that day. Although Ark came out 9 years. Bloody hell!
9 years.
9 years ago.
Wow.
Cool. Well, but I think you said about something, didn't you, Martin? What was the game came out? How many years ago?
38. I like to look for games that are older than me. June the 3rd, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels came out 38 years ago in Japan, which from speaking to you guys who are a bit older, you've told me that this was Super Mario Bros. 2, essentially, in the Western Hemisphere, but it was called The Lost Levels in
something like that. Yeah, it gets a bit confusing when you've got Super Mario 2, and then it's not Super Mario 2 in one country, it's Super Mario this in one country, and then you got another country, and the country it's this, and another country. Oh, yeah, just all got a bit confusing. But yeah, I think
Oh no! So I think it was originally released. It says here originally released in Japan as Super Mario Bros. 2. This game previously made only brief cameo appearance in the Western Hemisphere. Now available on the Virtual Console. So I don't know. Was it Mario 2 in Japan, or was it the Lost Levels?
I think what it was. I think Super Mario 2 that in the US was released in Japan as Super Mario USA or something like that. And so then they released Super Mario The Lost Levels worldwide. I think
Lost
that was
Levels originally was in Japan
as Super Mario 2.
Yeah, but it was then remarketed again as Super Mario 2 in Japan and released as Super Mario Bros. 2 everywhere else. But essentially, it was the same game. And then many years later, they did a Mario collection on the Super Nintendo, which included the Lost Levels, which again was released on the Wii, which was the better version. Yeah. Not much else to tell in it, really. It was
on June the 4th, which is, I am older than this one, but 31 years ago, Rock and Roll Racing, which we were chatting about. Tom, you were surprised that came out on Sega Mega Drive, weren't you?
I was, yeah. I was surprised it was able to handle the graphics, but yeah, nice to be surprised on things. So, Half-Life 2, Episode 1 was 18 years ago.
Half-Life 2 was 18 years ago.
Yep.
Because that was pretty much what
on the Xbox.
That was on the Windows version.
Yeah, I mean, what started up Valve, Steam, because you had to have a Steam account and you had to download Steam to play it if you didn't pirate it. And obviously, when it came out, people were like, "I have to download this thing to play. Why can't I just download this game?" And obviously, this was early in the broadband days. So yeah, it was intriguing, and people were like, "Oh, I don't have to go to a shop and buy something. I can just get it whenever I want." Oh, okay then. And then a few more games were released on it, and before you know it, we have the behemoth that we have nowadays, that is Steam. And yeah, Half-Life 2 started it all. Yeah, because Valve were just a game developer.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, the second Cataclysm, was released on Sega CD in America 30 years ago.
Sounds good.
That was an amazing game.
What was that called?
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, the second Cataclysm.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
What are Cadillacs?
Hey?
What are Cadillacs?
It's a car, an American car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Cadillacs.
Sorry, my pronunciation.
I thought you were on about like cataracts. And I was like, well, that's like a unique game. Cataracts.
It was such a good game, though. It really was.
Also, it was a cartoon as well.
It was a cartoon as well, yeah.
No, I've never heard of that. Yes, I've seen this on a list video on YouTube, and somebody's talking about it. It's basically like Final Fight just with dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and you walk along and beat the crap out of dinosaurs.
There was some really great. I don't know what system it was on, but I think there was some really great cut scenes for this where you were driving a car around and dinosaurs would walk through these like trees and things like that. It was almost a cartoon, and it was fantastic.
Well, I mean, for those watching on YouTube, I've just put up a screenshot from Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, where a lady is beating up a dinosaur and some fat men.
As you do.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Seems like there was two versions of this game. So there was one that was more like a scrolling beat 'em up type thing, and the other one that was very much the cartoon in a game. It almost looks like Jurassic Park.
Well,
Weird.
I've now got a picture of the car, the Cadillac in question.
That I can't pronounce.
Yeah, interesting looking game. Can't say I ever even heard of it.
I might download it.
Well, 26 years ago, though, guys. Piece of hardware. I don't know if either of you had one or still have one, Tom. Game Boy camera.
Yes, I got one in the
I did have
cupboard.
I had the printer as well.
Yeah.
We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, actually. But,
It was a fun piece of kit.
Terrible camera though.
Terrible.
Wouldn't use it today. You wouldn't be taking a photo of it, would you?
Yeah, because that was. Yeah, it was.
It would let you like.
It was a cartridge with a camera on top, wasn't it?
And you could then through the game, like you'd see the picture of yourself, and you could like do stuff to your face and things like that.
I'm glad you clarified that. But yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't particularly. Yeah, it wasn't a particularly good camera, and also the fact that it was a monochrome screen. So yeah, not the probably it was reasonably popular, but yeah, nothing to write home about. I think that's any more interesting games came out in the last few years. Ace Combat 2, 27 years ago in Japan. Ooh. That makes me feel old because I think I remember the first one coming out. Oof. Anyway, right. I think we've got on for not as long as last week, but yeah, still our normal time. So, 6th of July. I think I'll say again, I'm going to be doing a live 24-hour stream. I'm going to be doing it in aid of Cancer Research UK. So, yay. So I'll be doing more details to come. So if you want to join me, probably playing Jackbox, Hitman. Those are things that I've already looked at playing. I might play some online. I don't know. I'm not very good. And I'll be playing on my PC, which is not the best PC. So that would be good fun.
I reckon I could easily do a 24-hour Rocket League session. I could continue it and do 48 hours.
And not even realise. Well, I'll have to install that, and maybe we'll have to have a game.
Is it cross-platform?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
I play with my mate who has a PlayStation 5.
I'll install it as well.
On the Switch, so I'm disadvantaged being on the Switch.
Get some Fortnite on the go as well, just for a giggle.
I mean, obviously they're all epic, so I shall get my games sorted.
We can easily join you on that one.
Yeah, Jackbox is easy. You don't even need to have a device. You just need to have a playing device. You just need to have a screen to watch it and a screen to play. So like a mobile phone. So if you've got a smart TV or a laptop or whatever, and then you just use your phone as a controller. Or a tablet. And they're hilariously funny. You can have some real good times with Jackbox. So if anybody has got any ideas of games to play.
And what date's that?
That is the 6th. I will probably be doing Thursday. From midday, 6th of July.
6th of July.
Not June, 6th of July.
June.
No, 6th of July.
Adding it in the calendar now.
And I will be playing I think I'm going to do from midday to midday. We'll see. Because the wife has basically taken my son away for 24 hours for staying elsewhere. So I will have a kettle and pot noodles sitting next to me and cups of coffee
I'm assuming it's for charity. Duncan.
It is Cancer Research UK.
Do you have a Just Giving page?
I will be releasing a Tiltify page, which is basically Just Giving, but they do all. If you're doing a thing like a stream, they provide all the overlays and the links and all this kind of thing. So, and there are donation prizes I can give away, as in you can digital things or whatnot. So or previous 24-hour ones. Yeah, well, it could be I can say if somebody donates £10, I will, dress up as a clown in Hitman kind of thing. So those kind of things. I've got to think of some of them. People
Duncan, we're going to be expecting a lot more than that from you if we're going to donate £10.
Well, if you can come up with ideas of things for donations.
Oh yeah, put me and Martin in charge of those things, and you
No. I may when, because obviously I'll be doing overnight. I may sort of when it's dark and creepy, and I will go and turn the lights down. I may do a horror game, maybe.
Good.
We'll see what ones I've got.
And I promise not to show up in your back garden and scare the shit out of you.
I will be locking that door. No, I actually probably will, because I'll probably lock the house up because this is an outbuilding. I'll be doing that. And so if people want to play with Tom and Martin and myself, mostly myself, but I can't say I'll be much fun after 20 hours. Previous times I've done a 24-hour stream, I was younger and still dying. The last one I did 20 hours, and even that killed me. So doing the 24 hours is hard. So I shall need lots of support. So links to that will come out soon if we've got everything all sorted. And if there will be donation things that you can donate and get me to do possibly silly things, or just donate. Yeah, so donate. There you go.
Donate for the sake of
exactly.
Good charity.
Exactly. It's for charity. Right.
And on that note, we shall see you next week.
Thank you for listening, and like and subscribe.
Bye.